William Gilbert Rees, a member of a famous Welsh-English family cricketing dynasty, who was the founder of Queenstown and known as King Wakatip.
William Rees is something of a legendary figure in Otago history, remembered for his exploits as an explorer and a pioneer run holder in the Wakatipu district. But he's also remembered for his close relationship with the most famous cricketer of the 19th century, his cousin and godson, W.G. Grace. William was born here in Haverfordwest, Pembrokeshire, Wales in 1827 and baptised in this ancient stone church. His father was a Welsh naval officer, also called William Rees, and his mother was Mary Pocock from Bristol. After his father's death at sea when William was just 12 years old, his mother received a naval pension as well as the right to have her elder son educated at a naval school. But she was also supported by a close-knit extended family that included Reeses, Gilberts, Graces and Pococks, many of whom would later emigrate to Australasia as well. From 1839 to 43, William attended the Royal Naval School, which was then in these buildings in Camberwell in London. While he was here, he was awarded the Royal Humane Society's Bronze Medal as a 15-year-old for saving a drowning swimmer. And like many of his cousins, he was also a very good cricketer.
After leaving school, William completed an engineering apprenticeship. Then in 1849, he began a 3-year period as an assistant master at the Mount Radford School in Exeter. Among his pupils were some tesh makers, while the Fulton brothers had also attended this school, both families later to be prominent Otago settlers. William set off for Australia in 1852 to seek his fortune, first trying his hand at gold digging in New South Wales, before moving north to what was to become Queensland. There he undertook management of various sheep runs, setting him up for his later career in New Zealand. He also won a reputation as a top-class sportsman, playing in one of the first intercolonial cricket fixtures in 1857, in which he topped the batting with one of his cousins to lead New South Wales to a win over Victoria. In early 1858, he returned to England to marry his young cousin, Francis Gilbert, in a double wedding at Worcester that involved 4 Pocock cousins. Soon after their wedding, William and Francis set sail for New Zealand per the equator for Wellington. The first of their 7 children was born in Dunedin in May 1859. At that point, William was running sheep for his Australian partners along the Pomahaka River on the future site of the township of Tapanui. But he really wanted a run of his own, and that meant pushing further inland. So in early 1860, William set off on a major exploration of the Lakes District with Nicholas von Tunzelman. It was an epic journey through tough country, on horseback, by raft and even on foot. They fought off wild dogs, dodged a bushfire and nearly starved. But 6 weeks later, they returned to Dunedin, thin and in rags, but armed with sketch maps of the land they could file to claim their grazing rights. They then geared up to establish their runs around Lake Wakatipu. Williams was based here on the site at the head of the lake that was about to become modern Queenstown, his homestead at centre. It was a beautiful location, rich with possibility, but its splendid isolation was about to come to an end. In early 1862, prospectors found rich pickings along the Arrow River, and a new gold rush invaded the Wakatipu Basin. Rees's run was declared an official goldfield and quickly overrun by a horde of hopeful miners. William took this catastrophe with good grace, selling the diggers food at reasonable rates while boating supplies to them across the lake and also bringing their gold out the same way. His civic-minded leadership was vital to preserving peace and good order in the early days of the goldfield. And as a big, powerful, athletic man capable of prodigious feats of strength, he earned a lot of respect from the hard-living miners. When one digger questioned his honesty, Rees drew on his boxing skills and knocked the man to the ground with a single punch. And you get a sense of that robust decisive personality from this statue.
Its placement here in the centre of Queenstown acknowledges William's founding role, while many of the place names around Queenstown also recall Rees and his family. The Rees River, obviously, as well as Rees Street. Frankton is named for his wife Frances, while Cecil and Walter Peaks are named for his son, Cecil Walter Rees.
His woolshed was just nearby, and Rees quickly converted it into a hotel to cater for the miners. Later rebuilt as the famous Icarts Hotel, it still occupies this historic site.
William also built Queenstown's first government offices and organised construction of the original St Peter's Anglican Church, the Masonic Lodge and the town's first hospital. He was president of the Cricket Club, the Jockey Club and chairman of the first town committee, as well as operating numerous businesses in the town. He was truly Queenstown's leading citizen. King Wakatip indeed.
Pushed off his run at Queenstown, Rees sought and gained considerable compensation and relocated to the Frankton run around the mouth of the Kawerau River. His homestead site there is now occupied by the Hilton Hotel, providing luxury accommodation, but new street names recall William and Frances, and these old farm buildings still survive.
The Reeses left the Wakatipu in 1867 and moved to the Waitaki Valley, where William worked as a manager on Robert Campbell's sheep runs. As his obituary would later state, he had almost commenced life again, and it must have been quite a come down. After 20 difficult years for sheep farming, Rees took a job with the government stock department. He spent his last years working in its Wellington district, where he retired due to ill health in 1897. He died in Blenheim the next year, aged 71.
He's remembered today principally for those 8 tumultuous years in the 1860s, when he and Frances forged a new life on the frontier of settlement, and William truly earned the title King of the Wakatipu.